How we doing, boys and girls? Manthieus here, and welcome back to another video. So, after last video we did, where we gave people a little bit of a review, a little bit of a refresher, a bit of a reminder for people on some of the ways that you can make gold in the run-up to Dragonflight, one that really stood out from the crowd was people's desire to jump on board with the mission table. But more importantly, not so much the mission table. People are aware of the mission table. It was the add-on that I suggested people maybe look into, one called TLDR missions. People were very intrigued by this. They wanted to know a little bit more about it, so I thought I'd spend a few minutes today and do a little bit of an add-on spotlight. Bring this to the forefront, give you guys a little bit of my 2 cents on how to get this set up, and showcase it a little bit more in detail than we did in the past video. Firstly though, boys and girls, I want to give a big shout out to my patrons. To these guys and girls that really do help support the channel and allow me to keep putting these videos together and bringing them to you. So shout out to all of my patrons specifically. Anybody not a patron right now, one of the biggest benefits is you get access to my full TSM profile that so far throughout Shadowlands has helped me make way in excess of 100 million gold in actual liquid gold. So it's pretty well set up, if I do say so myself, but don't worry about it too much. Let's take a look at TLDR missions though. This is the add-on itself. It's had a little bit of traction recently. It's starting to, more people are downloading it. Nearly 600,000 downloads now. So it's really picking up speed with people, and it's a good little add-on. For reference, when we talk mission tables, lots of people think venture plan. People have been shouting about venture plan. I've shouted about it myself. Unfortunately though, venture plan just has not been updated for many months at this point. I think the last time venture plan had an update was at the early part of patch 9.1, and even then I'm not even sure that was an official update. I think there's some shenanigans that went on with venture plan that we will talk about another day. But to wrap it up, TLDR missions is the new add-on you want to be using for your mission table. Now, this has been out a little while. I'm certainly not the first person to be talking about this. I will, of course, leave a link down below to the CurseForge link for this. But TLDR missions is another simple little, it does all the hard work for you with the mission table. It does all the maths for you behind the scene. First thing you'll notice is it changes the interface a little bit. If you've been using, just been using the default interface, you have every button's a lot bigger. If you've been using venture plan, the layout changes again. Now we've got a slightly new layout again for TLDR missions, but do not worry, you don't actually need to interact with it all that much. But right, let's talk about the add-on itself then. What are these? What are all these boxes? What do we got to do with this? What is the fundamentals of what the add-on is doing? Well, basically, it allows you to prioritize which missions you want to do first. And that, of course, is super powerful depending on what stage your mission table is in. One of the questions I've seen quite frequently is, well, how do you set up your TLDR missions? And the answer is there's no one good answer. If you are just brand new to mission tables and don't have many followers, and you don't have your troops leveled up to max, and you don't have the mission table campaign progress completed, you may set this up in a slightly different way than somebody that's done all of that already. But it works on a priority system. So you can basically select what type of mission you want to run and in what priority you want it. So number 1 is going to be the highest priority thing. So let's take the assumption that you are brand new to mission tables. You've just dinged 60. You've got your first follower. Maybe you've got your troops leveled up a little bit. Your main priority is probably going to be anima for most cases. Now, I know that people are using the mission table for the purpose of making gold, but we'll get to that in a minute. You should consider the gold generation a byproduct. You're going to have to level it up a little bit before you can start making good amount of gold with it. You will need anima. You'll need anima all the time. You will actually chunk through a huge amount of anima with your mission table, and it's important to prioritize those anima missions to begin with to keep your supplies of anima ticking over. This does tell you how much anima it's using for each of the missions, but as we know, if you've engaged with the mission table at all, it chunks through anima really quickly. Sure, if you've got a big supply of it, don't worry too much but I would still make sure that Anima is kind of quite high on your list. You want to get the Anima missions done as a priority. If you are just leveling up your character and you're leveling up your troops, I would very heavily suggest the follower XP items and the bonus follower XP. These two are quite important. These are the, let's see if I've got any on my list. In true fashion today, I don't have any on my list as rewards, but they're the bind on account tokens that will allow you to dedicate a big chunk of experience to one of your followers. This is going to be really helpful for you to level up fast and to speed up the process and get up and running nice and quickly. So I'd prioritize these quite highly. Now you can start to see how the add-on is coming together, right? So you've got 1 is the highest priority, then 2, then 3, and so on and so on. And you could fill it out sort of as you wish. For example, one that I'll highlight here is the Rune Carver crafting currencies. Now, if you're just running mission tables to make gold, and you're not really actively playing that character, the last thing you probably want to be doing is wasting a bunch of troops and a bunch of your followers trying to complete long missions that take a lot of anima to reward something that you don't care about. This is where you may cycle through and you may actually put a cross in it. This is super powerful. This basically tells the add-on, don't bother with those missions. I don't care about those missions. I don't want to do them. They're a waste of my time. This is super powerful. This makes it very handy, and this allows you to optimize your mission table a little bit more. I want to talk about rep tokens real quickly. The reputation tokens that you can get on the mission table, I think a lot of people snooze on. The reason I think a lot of people snooze on is because this is a really, really good way. If you've played the characters, if you've got your main characters up and running with a mission table, there's a good chance you've got a lot of the reputations at quite a high level anyway, just by passively playing Shadowlands. Paragon boxes are a thing. And in every Paragon box, there's about 3,500 gold. There's a huge chunk of change in the Paragon boxes, and if you can keep pushing reputation tokens, you can get those Paragon boxes. Let's not forget there's some shiny rewards in these Paragon boxes as well. You've got mounts and pets and cosmetic appearances and a bunch of other sort of shiny things in these Paragon boxes anyway. So I actually sort of put reputation tokens quite high up on that list, but only on a character where you've already got reputations at Exalted. You can go further into it and you can specify which ones you want to do reputation tokens for. So for me, for example, with Court of Harvesters, I've had enough Paragon boxes with those guys that I don't need any more shiny rewards out of the Court of Harvesters. So I've deselected this one, so it will only do the reputation missions that give me Wild Hunt, Ascended, or the Undying Army, where there's still rewards for me to obtain, and more importantly, that each Paragon box is going to have a whole bunch of gold in it as well. Now the other ones are quite simple. From this point, you probably want to say, right, just bang out the gold missions, get those done nice and quickly. Pet Charms is a good way to make some gold. Interestingly, going into Dragonflight, a little bonus tip for you here, I suppose. As we go into Dragonflight, without the support of a mission table, the pets that cost pet charms are very likely to go up in price quite considerably. People's ease of access to these pet charms is going to disappear once we move into Dragonflight and we don't have a mission table equivalent over there. Huge thousands, tens of thousands of pet charms have been created because of this mission table. Once that cash cow goes away, the pets that cost pet charms in the first place are likely to see an increased value. So maybe get the pet charms now, get them up and running now, and even if you don't, turn them into pets and try and sell the pets, or just of course buy pets to complete your collection, whatever you're trying to do. These pet charms, you may not see much value in them today, but trust me, once we get into Dragonflight, I feel that the pet charms will be worth considerably more than what they are currently. Augment runes is hit and miss. Crafting materials is kind of up to you. Crafting materials is a useful one to tick. And it's also probably worth saying that, right, ignore, you know, I don't want the fish. Nobody wants the fish ones. To be honest, nowadays, nobody really wants the leather ones either. You can sort of, you can choose to ignore some of them again. This is the power of the add-on. You can say, right, well, I don't want to do all the fishing missions all the time, because fish are worth like 10 silver on my realm. There's no point me wasting time with them. I'd rather send those troops and those followers on something else. So you can sort of micromanage it a little bit if you wish. But all of that aside, what happens when you've put your priority list? Well, using the add-on's dead easy. You click calculate. Boom. You click calculate. It does a bunch of simulations in the background to try and work out the best sort of optimized setup to complete a mission. You'll see in many cases here it sends just one of my followers and a bunch of troops. This is because my mission table is pretty much maxed out on this character. Not fully, but at least all of my followers are sort of level 50 plus for the most part. So this usually means one follower and a bunch of troops. For me personally, can easily zerg through most of the missions. It will give you here what the reward is going to be, and as long as it's found a suitable simulation, a suitable setup for it, you can just hit start mission. Boom, and off it goes. It'll then do the next one. Once it's found its thing, hit start mission again. You can even go into the options. We'll talk about the advanced options a little bit more in a second. And you can even say immediately start missions once calculated. You tick this, and then it'll just blast through them. Boom, 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 boom. Requiring you to do virtually nothing, and then boom, all missions are sent. So in theory, the way that this could work for you guys is that you could log on to your character that's already standing at the mission table. You could open the mission table, you click calculate, you wait maybe 20 seconds. It's going to calculate everything. It's going to send all of those missions. By the time it's finished, you log off and you do it on the next character. It's probably less than 2 minutes a day. Even if you log on a couple of times a day. I almost guarantee you'll spend more time looking at the loading screen for the character than you will by interacting with the mission table to actually make some gold from it. It's a really, really powerful little add-on. I did say we'd talk a little bit about the advanced settings, because there are some situations here where you might want to play around with it a little bit. Once again, this depends on where you are in your mission table journey. If you've just started with an alt, you probably don't want to be doing the hardest missions first. They are obviously going to be the more difficult ones to sort of guarantee success on, meaning that they might need more characters to go on there, more companions to go on each mission. You probably, when you first start off, want to be doing the easiest missions first. Take the easy wins, take the guaranteed wins, and take as many of them as you can. Gain as much experience for your followers as you can, gain as many rewards as you possibly can, and once everything's leveled up, once you've got all of your companions leveled up, once everything is just blasting, then maybe you can switch it over to prioritize only the big, expensive, lucrative missions first. You can change a few things here if you wish. Minimum troops being sent out, you can send up to a minimum of 4 troops. I tend to have it set as a minimum of 4 troops, simply because 1 companion and 4 troops for me is pretty much guaranteed for any mission in the game currently. But that's only because I've power leveled it all the way up on this character. On a fresh alt, I would probably want to say, right, less troops, allow more of your companions to go out on the missions themselves. There's a few other little things in here, but I think for the most part it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. I'm hoping that has at least given you a good overview to what you might want to do with the mission table and how you should get it set up using TLDR missions. Honestly, there are people out there I know that are running 10, 20, 30 alts through this. The real altaholics out there with lots of level 60s are utilizing TLDR missions, and they're just chipping away. They're making a few thousand gold per day per character. But firstly, it's absolutely covering the cost of their sort of monthly subscription, without a doubt. Secondly, it's probably giving them a lot of spare resources and pet charms and you know, anima to use on their collections as well going forward. So it's a win-win from every situation. I'd highly recommend taking a look at the add-on, getting set up with the mission table, and make yourself some gold before Dragonflight. But I'll leave it there, boys and girls. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, remember to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've used mission table TLDR missions before, if you engage with the mission tables, and more importantly, if you found any other add-ons that you think are useful for gold makers that I may not have brought to the light or may not use myself. I'd be really interested to hear. But I'll let you go for the rest of the day, boys and girls. Have fun with that. I'll see you next time. Peace.